Hello and welcome to Community Service Spotlight. I'm your host, Bud Kwok, and today we have another great show for you, the River City Mission. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. I've heard the term the River City Mission my whole life, but today we're going to find out what in the heck that is and what it does for the community. And here to help us is Shirley Barlow from
Hello.
the River City Mission. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Now, Shirley Barlow you're not kin to the city of Barlow by any chance, are you? Does that ring a bell for you?
Yes, that's my husband's family founded the little town of Barlow in Ballard County.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness. Well, how come you're not living over there? You'd be a celebrity if you or you're a celebrity now, I'm sorry. But I mean, you'd be a bigger celebrity in Barlow. You've lived in Paducah your whole life?
No, now I was born and raised in Ballard County, Monkey's Eyebrow, really.
Oh my God.
But I've lived in Paducah now since '69.
Oh, that's forever then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, the River City Mission, how long have you been with them?
you know, I've been with them so long that I tell people I actually am not sure of the actual date. I've been with them about 24 years.
Okay.
Serving on the board, and then I have been chairman of the board for too many years to even name, but
So
many years.
You are Mrs. River City Mission then, huh?
Well, they call me Miss Shirley.
Miss Shirley, okay.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to tell where you're located and the contact information now, and we'll hit it again at the end of the show. Where are you located?
We're located in the area of Paducah that's known as Littleville. The actual address is 1466 Bechtold Road.
Bechtold Road.
Bechtold Road. That's out, as I said, it's in Littleville. It's off of Bloom Avenue. We are literally on the line of the city and the county. We get some city utilities, and we get county help from the sheriff.
So you got Old Mayfield Road just a little bit, and then turn left on
Chester Hack,
and then right on
Bloom,
and then left on
Bechtold Road, and
Okay.
that dead ends into the mission.
Oh, okay.
You drop over the railroad tracks, and that's River City Mission property.
And Littleville, you called that?
That's
I'd never heard that
Littleville area.
before.
Yes.
Littleville. That was another little town maybe called Littleville that added on to Paducah later on.
I don't know how it got
That's
its
interesting.
name, but it's been there for years and years and years.
Okay,
It's an old area.
And if they wanted to contact you, they could call.
They can call 270-442-7921. And if they decide to mail something, it needs to come to P.O. Box 1000, Paducah, 42002.
I can even remember that. Post Office Box 1000. Well, okay, before we haven't even got started here, we know where to go, but what are some of the services you provide out there?
We are
do you do?
a homeless shelter, and we provide shelter, food, clothing, transportation to and from work. We try to help them get jobs, and we take care of single men and married families. We have the facility to take care of 50 men, and then we never turn them away. We have cots, and we have recliners, and we have even mats we can put on the floor if we have to. And sometime during the winter months when it's really bad, we have to use those type of facilities. But we can take care of the 50 men and 9 families.
Okay, and you've got, I've been, when I was out there, you showed me that you had like 4 or 5 of those little cottages, right? And
Yeah,
then
we
you
have 5 cottages, and then we have 1 building that has 4 apartments in it.
Okay.
The families live to themselves, but they come in and eat as a community. We serve the families at one time, and then the men are served at a later time.
And you've got a big kitchen, I guess, out there.
Yes, we have a kitchen that serves them 3 meals a day.
That's a lot of people.
A lot of people. We can service, well, right now we have an average of about 70 to 75 people. In the wintertime, it gets to be more, but right now we have that many.
Okay, well, a lot of people are living out on their own, maybe in a tent or on the sidewalk or something somewhere, and
Under bridges,
Under bridges.
out in the woods, yes. And when the weather gets too bad, or even in the summertime, they can't tolerate the heat, so they come visiting River City Mission to stay until they can get back out to their facilities. That's what some people actually choose. And some people, due to their choices and their habits, that's sometimes the only place they can stay.
okay, so what if I had a drug problem? Would you be able to help them, or maybe I had an alcohol problem? Can you?
We are
That's not your-
zero tolerance for drug and alcohol. In order to get into the facility to stay, you are given a drug test and a breathalyzer test. And if you cannot pass both of those, then you cannot come in until you can pass those. Many times people can't pass them. They come back a week, 2 weeks later, and they can pass the test.
So that's a big incentive for them to be clean then.
Yes,
huh?
definitely.
Right,
definitely.
right.
And as long as they're there, they have to stay clean. Or if we have any reason to think that they may not be, we will test them randomly. We run tests out there of both kinds. And if we find that they are either drinking or drugging, they have to go.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's really hard. It's hard, especially if you've got a family and dad decides he's got to use his drug, whichever one his choice might be. And you have to tell that family that they have to go.
my
That
goodness.
gets to be hard.
Crying and
Really,
everything,
really
probably.
hard. I think it's the hardest thing that I ever have to face to do.
But you got to do it.
You have to
You
do it
have to do
because
it.
it has to be across the board, or you would just have total chaos.
Yeah, you start giving in to one person, and everybody else will find out about it, and
Exactly.
then yeah, okay.
Yes.
Well, that sounds like a big, expensive business you're running out there. Is that you got all? You're going to feed that many people every day. Where do you get? How do you afford that? How do you finance all that?
Well, we're fortunate in this area that we have a lot of people who donate to us, especially this time of year, the farmers. Excess produce that they might have in their gardens or whatnot, they bring it to us. But then we have one that we depend on, and that's called the Purchase Area Development Program over in Mayfield. We go over there once a week and we pick up, they bring in food from the Walmarts, the Krogers, the Food Giants, all of these grocery stores that have food that is marginal, yet it's still got a shelf life, but they want to get it out and bringing fresh. That goes into the pad office, and we get to go over there and pick it up for a nominal amount, say maybe 19 cents a pound we'll pay for meat, less than that for the produce. So it's very, very, very economical. We miss our U.S. foods that left the city a couple of years ago because from them we always bought the salvaged food, a whole pallet for maybe $50. And that
That's
has
great.
really made a difference in our what we can feed them, how we can feed them. I mean, they had steaks and they had all the best when we had the U.S. food. But we are just now working, hoping to get connect with them again, a trucking company here in the city that goes to Memphis daily, has agreed if we can get U.S. Foods to get the food to their dock, they will bring it back to us and have it in here by 6 o'clock in the morning. We can go pick it up and get our food again that we got for so long. So we are just in that process of working out the details about that. We're excited.
That's great.
Yes.
That's great. You applaud U.S. Foods for bending over backwards
Oh,
to
yes.
help. They're not even here anymore.
Right,
So, and they
right.
probably have never got any advertisements about it. Nobody's ever known it, except a few people probably. That's really fantastic.
Yeah.
And also applaud the farmers too.
Oh, yes.
Now, you say farmers. Do you mean individual farmers, or maybe somebody that does the farming produce for a bit, that's their living, selling produce? Are those the people that help you the most?
Most of them are the individual farmers that they have got an excess in their garden, and they'll just load it up in their pickup and bring it to us.
Well, I know when I was more active than I am now in the Master Gardeners, out there at the Master Gardening plot on Coleman Road, we would do that. And they do it a little bit now, but not like they used to. They used to really try to help out doing that kind of thing. But they don't have the, and someday they may have the land. They're going to move, I heard. And I'm getting off the subject a little bit here.
That's okay.
But that's, they may be able to help you more.
That would be great.
Yeah. I will see what I can do about that, maybe.
Okay.
Now, you get paid a huge salary probably, right? You're the top dog? No?
I don't get paid anything. That's not my calling to be paid. I'm there because I care, and I love the fact of trying to help these people that are so down, because when they come to us, they're all at their lowest point in life almost, because when you become homeless, I can't imagine it myself, and I doubt that you can. Being homeless would have to be the lowest point in your life. And my heart just goes out to them. I don't care how dirty they are or how bad their background might be. That's not important. Right now, we are just wanting to help them when they need us, and that's why I'm there. But no, I get no money.
100% volunteer.
Right.
You have probably a lot of people on your staff that you pay, have to, no?
No, we have 3 people that actually we give them a stipend at the end of the week because they can't go out and work off of the premises. We try to get our people off of the premises working daily, and we are thankful we have a lot of people in town that want to work our people for all sorts of jobs. But we have these 3 that we depend on. Well, 4 actually now. We've got the 4th one. But we have 4 of them that we depend on to be there to take care of things on a daily basis. And it's not easy.
Oh my goodness! And they're you could almost qualify them as volunteers too, right?
Basically, yes.
And I was out there when they cooking the hams. You have somebody that's a pretty darn good cook out there. I think to cook for that many people, you'd have to know what in the heck you're doing. You just can't pick anybody off the street to cook for 75 people, right?
No, but these are all people that are residents there that help us.
Okay, so they're living there.
They are living there, and when we have an opening and someone leaves or someone gets sick or whatever, and we have to fill that spot, we go to our residents living there, and they come in and help fill that spot. Yeah.
So if those people get a job somewhere and move off and aren't, then you're stuck without that good cook or
exactly,
or that bookkeeper or whoever.
Right.
So you got to do a lot of training. Then it sounds like to me you have to spend a lot of time there.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to go in and be grandma and show them how to do some cooking that they maybe aren't used to doing for that many people.
Yeah. I know how it is to be shorthanded sometimes where somebody calls in sick and you say, oh my gosh, now what am I going to do? So you draft Joe, you get Joe out of bed. It's breakfast time.
That's right.
Time to get up. Now you have what you said, 4 people probably that are in that category. Do you have other volunteers or you just draft the people that are staying there for
it's
anything
really
else?
hard to bring volunteers in because our people do take care of all the work. I mean, they take care of the yards, they work in the kitchen, they take care of the cleaning, they take care of light maintenance. If it gets to be really serious maintenance, well, we bring in a professional contractor. But they can do light maintenance. And they take care of our storage area. We have a massive storage building that we fill completely, plus 2 semi-trailers with donations that we get and we use in our yard sale. So there is always something for them to be doing. They have the opportunity to relax 2 or 3 hours, 4 or 5 hours during the day to hear them tell it. They may work really hard, but they can't watch TV. The TV is off because if there are those people working, we don't allow these to sit and watch TV. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, when our people begin to come in from the jobs, TV goes on. It's on till bedtime.
Nice TV. It's a big screen I saw.
Yes.
Yeah.
Donated to us.
Yeah. Now you mentioned yard sale. Okay.
Yes.
Is that one of your fundraisers? One of your main fundraisers?
Yes, that's our biggest fundraiser. We have tried to have 4 a year. About every 3 months, we have a large yard sale. We have had to move from about 3 different buildings because the buildings that we lease are just a temporary thing, and if they get a chance to sell them, of course they do. So right now we are out at Carson Park, the fairgrounds, in their Floral Hall building, and have been there now for about a year. We continue to pray God will find and help us find and be able to afford a building That is our dream, is to get a building that we can put this stuff in and not have to take it in for every show, every sale, then turn around and pick it up and pack it up and bring it back that don't sell and that sort of stuff.
Well, that's
it is
a big job.
Big job.
Yeah, yeah.
But it does bring in good income. It really does.
So who gives the items to the yard sale, and how would you do that if I had some stuff that I wanted to give to you? How do you do that?
You just pick up the phone, 442-7921, call them and tell them, I've got X amount of items that I want to give you. We go pick them up.
You pick them up.
We pick them up. We have
that's
that
good.
driver that he stays busy most days picking up.
Oh, is that right? Almost
Yes.
full-time job picking things up?
Almost, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And I go out on Saturday morning with my little business card and introduce myself to people who are having their yard sales and say, if you have leftovers that are still usable and we could use, call us, we'll come get it. And so on Saturday, he usually ends up with an overabundance of yard sale stuff, but that's okay. That's what he wants to do.
Okay, so you heard that out there. If you got any yard sales, and what was the telephone number you called again?
270-442-7921.
Okay.
Call that and we come pick it up.
Do you have any other events that you do besides the yard sale? Is that mainly it?
That's mainly it. We do a golf tournament, or golf. This year is called
Well,
the Golf
that's a big
Scramble.
thing.
That's a big one that we're due, and I'm working on that right now, trying to get sponsors and guys that want to play golf.
I've done that before. That's a huge job, getting all that organized and then
Yes.
putting it on. It is even a bigger job.
Yes,
So you got to
yes.
have more volunteers. Will your residents do the volunteering at the golf course?
No, we take care of that ourselves. The board takes care of that ourselves.
The board.
Now, this year, we have a sponsor that is overseeing and sponsoring it.
I know you're not allowed to say the sponsor, or are we allowed to say the sponsor? But that would be nice. But
I didn't know
I
if I
know for a
could, so I
fact that they're
dropped
some of the finest people in Paducah, Kentucky.
You're right. You're exactly right. And they have already stepped forward and got people planned to do different jobs that we have to have done that morning.
Okay, so because next year you may have somebody else.
That's
so
right.
That's the way we'll do that.
Right.
Okay, okay. I know, and I know one of my friends is on your board. So you have how many people on your board?
We have 8.
And how do I get on your board if I want to get on your board? Or you have to be invited, or?
Not necessarily. If you just let someone know that you would like to serve on the board, we take your name to the board, and
Doesn't cost anything.
doesn't cost anything. No, just a little bit of time. Once a month we meet, and that's the
Okay.
extent of it. And then when we have events going on, I do call on the board if there is any possible way that they can help. The yard sale, we have usually only one that can help because all of the guys work. And I understand that. They can't do things and be away from their job. But on a Saturday morning, we have one guy that he comes and relieves me and takes over Saturday, and I can kind of just mingle through the people. And
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be in that golf. I may not be able to play because I've hurt my hand, but well, am I allowed to say I'd like to drive the beer truck? You're not going to have a beer truck, though.
no, don't allow that.
A lot of them have beer trucks. You don't
Yes,
have
that's
one.
true. We don't. We are a faith-based organization, so we do not.
I saw the chapel. It's
Yes.
a nice chapel.
Yes.
And do you have people come volunteer to give the services, or
Yes.
how does that work?
Yes.
You don't
we
do it
have
yourself.
churches. No. We have churches that go all the way from Marion, Kentucky, down to over in Illinois that have heard about us, and they'll call and say, can we come and do a service? So every Tuesday night we have a different church there. Every Friday we have someone there. Every Sunday morning we have someone there. So they have at least 3 services every week. And the 3rd week of the month they are taken to one of the churches local, and they have dinner for them there and a short devotion time.
Wow. Okay. Good. Well, and then it's not not all Catholics or not all Church
No.
of Christ. It's different ones, so they get to see the whole spectrum and not
Right.
just like sometimes it's just one and that's it. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
it's not.
Good. Okay. And what if I knew somebody that could use your services? How would they go about contact? I know how to. You give them contact information, but will I get on a waiting list, or am you're going to automatically, like you said, families are limited. The men, you said you can pretty well handle quite a few, but the families are limited. So say I knew a family that needed your help. do they go on a waiting list, or what?
If that's possible. Sometimes that's not possible because they are in such a dire situation that they've got to have help right then.
Yeah.
And then I try to steer them to some churches in town that do help people on a temporary basis, because we're the only one in the area that houses families. And we are seriously considering putting up some more cottages, and I've kind of let that be known among some of our people who have been gracious and came in and built us cottage, and we hope that will happen again.
Yeah.
Because
so
of families.
you're not the only show in town then. There's some other people that can help out in case there is an overabundance of families and what have you. Do you say there's churches that
Churches will help them. They'll put them in hotels and that type of thing.
Oh my goodness.
Until they can find themselves and get themselves a job or something. They usually keep them not much more than a week, 2 weeks at max usually. So that puts a little bit of pressure on a family to be able to find some type of work so they can get it back out on their own. But we take their names, and if we have someone leave, we're willing to call them and get them in if they're still in need.
Okay. So if anybody knows of a family out there that's really in trouble, even if you can't help them, you can point them in the right direction then, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, where is your national headquarters located, Shirley? You haven't told us that yet.
Well, our national headquarters is Paducah, Kentucky, and we're located out there on Bechtold, and we do have an administrative office in the Century Building on 17th and Broadway.
Oh, you do have an office
Yes.
in town?
Yes.
Okay, where's that at?
At the Century Building on 17th and Broadway.
17th and Broadway, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good location, 17th.
It is, yeah. That's where my office is, and that I take care of, all the business that I have to try to take care of.
Okay, that's where the mail comes.
Yes.
And that's where the telephone number is that you've been quoting. Is it your office?
No, that's the shelter
That's
number.
the shelter
because
office.
when they call the shelter and they need me, the guys will just turn around and give them my number to reach me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But
okay.
that number is the main shelter.
So any money anything that's donated to you or donated to the River City Mission doesn't go to headquarters in Chicago or something and then divided up. It stays right here in Paducah, McCracken County.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's a big thing because where I work, we do a lot of business with 501c3s, 401ks, 501s. You know what I do for a living. 501c3s and charitable organizations and nonprofits, and a lot of them have headquarters you have to take care of the administration of those big organizations. Not to say anything bad about them, but some like you, that money goes straight into the heart of it, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, how did you said you've been there for 24 years now? Did I remember that right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, how did you get started with the River City Mission? Did you just did you just want to be helping the homeless, and then you found the River City Mission did that, or tell me?
Well, I actually, at the time that River City started, I had a print shop here in Paducah. And the founder of River City was very good at going to businesses around and convincing you that you needed to help his organization, and you would do whatever you could do, and you did it for free. So he did that many times. I printed things for him, and finally he said to me one day, "Why don't you just come and join our board?" And I'm going, I was kind of shocked because I never thought about ever being involved with the mission except just doing the printing. And at that point, I had married, and Tom and I decided, okay, if we're going to do it, we'll both do it. So we both went on the board, and were on the board for a number of years as directors.
Well, then you moved from the board to
Chairman.
Well, then the gentleman you said was chairman before you retired or something, or?
Well, the founder, when he decided to put the property in the hands of a board, and he backed out and just was actually an advisor for many years before he did die. His health had gotten bad, and he just backed out. and put it in the hands of a board. And that time we had another director that was chairman. We've had 2 or 3 chairmen prior to me. And then when I became chairman, it seems like they just all kind of backed up and said, it's yours.
Permanent job.
Yes.
No term limits.
No. None.
Okay, I've got a question to ask you. I've been thinking about this before our show. Is Paducah is it unusual or average or above average in homeless? Do we have more homeless than the normal city our size, or are we blessed because we have less maybe, or do you know even what those figures might look like? And I'm not asking for figures, but I'm just saying we're a river city town. We're a little bit bigger than most towns around this part of the country, and you'd think maybe homeless would migrate to a bigger city maybe.
They come to Paducah, and Paducah is kind of a melting pot between St. Louis, Louisville, Nashville, Memphis. And they have heard about us all over the country. I mean, we have people come to us from way down south and all the way north. I mean, they come to us from everywhere. And then, of course, after we went online with our blog, we weren't too surprised in that. But that has been the norm for all the years. And Paducah has more than these other smaller towns around us. But we would say we have Marion, Illinois, would be a lot like us, about the same amount, because they're so close to Chicago and to St. Louis both.
So we're about average for our size.
We are.
Probably.
Yeah. And at any night, we've got to anywhere from 250 to 300 homeless people in Paducah.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And homeless, of course, is considered any time you are staying in another place that's not yours.
Okay, to wrap up, let's talk about your contact information real quickly then. Give us your telephone number again.
270-442-7921.
P.O.
Box 1000, Paducah 42002.
Don't send it to the Bechtild Road, just the P.O. Box.
Correct.
Okay, I want to thank you for coming in today. We've had some fun, and I hope we've educated some of our viewers on what to do. And I want to thank our viewers for tuning in, and I'm your host, Bud Kwok. Until next time, from the River City Mission, I almost Community Service Spotlight. I'm your host, Bud Kwok. We'll see you next time.